Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Readers Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah, and I will be your host for today. With me is one of the Readers Magnet's featured author, and of course, one of the most valuable author we have. Let's all welcome Mr. Thomas Mcloughlin, author of the book Atlas of Pennsylvanian Carboniferous Age Plant Fossils of the Central Appalachian Coalfields. He will be sharing to us today what this book is all about, him being an author, and of course, what inspired him to write this book. All right. Hi, Miss Thomas. Thank you so much for gracing with us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
All right, that's great to hear. And here, before I throw some questions with you, I know that everybody's really interested, excited to know more about you as an author, and of course, what exactly your book is all about. Because I can see that from the title itself, it's very fascinating. And here, Thomas, do you have your book with you right now?
Yeah.
Can you show it to our viewers? Okay, there you have it, guys. All right, so there. I wanted to start with the title, Thomas. How did you come up with this title, and when did you start, creating this book? What's the inspiration behind this?
Well, as a when I was real young, I was a rock hound and collecting rocks and minerals, and later on collecting fossils from different areas, especially in the Centenary Rocks in Kentucky, and then moving down to Virginia in the coal mines and the coal fields. But I was having trouble identifying a lot of the fossils because um, the the information wasn't really in all in one place. They had no real picture guide or field guide type book that centered on the Pennsylvanian age plants. So I thought this would be a good approach to have sort of a picture guide, or in a way a type of field guide for people to use, and not have to keep going to multiple sources to try to identify, but go to one source.
Mhm. Wow, that's very interesting. Interesting, Thomas. Knowing that someone was really, very interested to know the history of the Earth, especially when it talks about landforms, landscapes. So, and you're also a geologist, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah. Pardon.
hmm You're also a geologist. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh
That's
huh.
my
That's right.
training.
Okay, I see. So that means that you really love to discover more a lot about, physical nature, the processes, the products, the materials, what's the changes that is currently happening in our surroundings. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Fossil plants, fossils from marine organisms. Wow, that's very interesting. And you know what?
hmm
I wanted to also know, Thomas, what I know that you're really inspired by your experience as well, that you really wanted to, see really all the information, wanted to discover a lot of things. Now, I wanted to know, when did you feel that you really wanted to, start doing this? When was the first time that you decided to really jot down notes? I mean, when did it happen? How did you feel at that time as well?
Well, back around 2011, 2012,
hmm
uh, and actually before that, I was a adjunct faculty teacher at the Cumberland College in Cumberland, Kentucky, teaching geology, and I developed a pamphlet for a lab exercise on most of the common plant fossils associated with the coals. And the more I looked around, the more I collected, and then as I was photographing and identifying, I was getting not just repeats, but I was getting a pretty good variety, a range of different specimens, and even the seed pods for the plants, where I was starting to recognize them. So I thought, uh, I thought since it was such a range and a variety, I thought I'd put it in a book, and that's what I did on my very first book, the guide to the Pennsylvania native fossils for Southwest Virginia. And then I did another one because I had even more specimens coming from Kentucky. Um, Wrote the first atlas on the plant fossils, and then I finished up with this volume 2 to complete the research. I ran out of outcrops and places to sample.
Right.
Right.
Collecting some, materials about fossils. And what about you being an author, Thomas? When did it all started, and what's the purpose of you publishing these books?
Again, it started really when I was a rock hound and was collecting fossils and was even trading rocks, minerals, and fossils in the mail when I was in high school. And I had a teacher that encouraged it. My aunt encouraged it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into college, and I got involved in coal mining research because of the plant fossil the lure to collect plant fossils. And that's what I had been doing. But then it expanded when I became an MSHA inspector. I had a great opportunity to rescue, as I want to put it, a lot of different specimens from the various mines, various coal seams. And it just accumulated after about 28 years for the first book on collecting and photographing. And
Wow.
then another couple of years each for the other 2 volumes.
Hmm. I see. So that means that on this book, there are also some illustrations, pictures that you have collected, right?
Yes.
Okay. You know what, Thomas? What's the most interesting part of having this book? I really like how this was also created to really give to really give people a thorough knowledge why there are things that changes that has been happening in our surroundings right now. And this kind of book, it's really a great help to a lot of families, especially from parents to their kids, because there's also pictures and more information to really look at. I like that. So you
Yes.
are really such an inspiration creating this book, Thomas. We might not know that by the help of your book, there will be some other, kids out there that who would really also like to do the same thing. Right.
Yeah. The other thing about it is there's still um, uh, fathers that are in the coal mines, and they're
Oh,
interested. They collect them, bring them home, give them to their kids, and they'll take them to school for show and tell. And with these books, by looking, using all 3,
hmm,
they can have a better idea of what it is instead of just a plant
right.
fossil, and be a little bit
Uh-huh.
more informed about it. Um, and the identification with the pictures, I could
Hmm.
not avoid using the full scientific terms, but I did group them I did uh, assemble them by their
Uh-huh.
by their group names to simplify that part of it.
Right. As what I have mentioned earlier, this is really going to be a great help, especially for teachers as well, to really, help. This type of book can really help them, it easier for them to really relay this information to the kids, especially when there's pictures and there's also an explanation with it. And yeah, this is really such an interesting creation, Thomas. And here, because checking on you online, your book is available on Amazon, right? And I see a lot of books there. How many books have you published? And are you going to publish some more?
Just the 3. So just the 3. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't foresee having enough material for another book.
Mhm. Okay, I see. But you know what? Your book is really such a good book because I can see that there's really a lot of positive feedback coming from the readers who's interested to really know more about you as an author and exactly what your book is all about. Because based on the reviews, it's actually 5 stars. Wow, we're very proud of you on that, Thomas. And here, I wanted you to take this opportunity, Thomas, to let the people know if and where would they be able to have your book to be purchased. So yeah, take advantage of this.
Yeah, I want to point out too that what may not be obvious, but uh, each of the books actually contains more information than the previous, or different information than the previous.
Mhm.
They don't overlap that much, but they do have, uh, in some cases, more some different fossils coming from different locations than the previous book. So
Mm,
really, yeah, I thought about compiling them all under one cover, but that would be a
I
horrendous,
see.
project, and I haven't done it yet. And I thought, well, with one volume, it may be more too expensive to
Two more.
for
Right.
people to afford, rather than the three individuals.
hmm I see. And you know what? What's a good thing about your book, Thomas? Because again, it's not just you sharing the experience you've had from, being a geologist, but it's also, again, having that, sharing the knowledge to among as many people as possible. Having that thorough knowledge of what's currently happening, what these things are all about. And I really like the idea of you creating this book. So it's really a great help to those people who are also interested to know more about fossils, marine organisms, physical nature, the history of the earth. It's really interesting. And you know what, Thomas? It was really an interesting discussion. Thank you so much for gracing with us today, and we really appreciate for letting Readers Magnet to be part of this journey. So yes, everyone, Mr. Thomas Mcloughlin, author of the book Atlas of Pennsylvanian Carboniferous Age Plant Fossils of Central Appalachian Coalfields. So his book is available in Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and of course his website. That will be www.tfmcloughlin.com. And yes, you may also follow him on all social media platforms he have. Again, thank you so much, Thomas. As we say it here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.